Epic Conversations, 2020 Podcast News and 2018 Innovation Award winner given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. And as always, I say that one of the things I do, also on top of that, had a little bit of a hiccup there, is that I host the only online show in the world for fathers and men that is sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. I'm the home of Epic Conversation, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. And the most regular conversation that we have, and definitely, if not the best, 1A, is Staggers State of Things with Aisha K. Staggers and Jill Jones. It's been too long since they've been on, but we've got them back. Ladies, why do we say what to go on?
What's going on?
Yeah.
How's lives with both of you? It's been a little bit of time. Look at Jill just sipping on her. Look at the teacup. Check the tea.
Yes.
Check the cup.
This is my favorite tea. I got this Lapsang Souchong. So
okay, can you make that English? I don't know what you just said.
It's a Chinese tea.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm in heaven when I have my tea.
Wonderful. And Aisha K, what's been going on? How's your daughter?
She's good. She's good.
Okay. How's she enjoying? How the kids enjoying virtual education?
Well, she's up at her dorm, so.
Yeah. There you go. Excellent.
She's enjoying her virtual classes at her dorm.
Okay. Wonderful. Shout out to Black Beauty. Like right from the good get-go. Thanks everybody for tuning in. We're broadcasting live on February 5th. And have we got into 2021 yet? Because the other day I was hosting a conversation. A gentleman was saying it's like 2021 plus another month. No, 2020 plus another month. But I think we're finally getting to 2021. Right? Okay.
Yeah. It feels like it.
Okay, so things are beginning to, as if you saw the last conversation we had, the ladies were a little bit more calm than they were for the last 2 or 3 years. Yeah. So I think there's things are somewhat more steady. But let's get to it. First things first. First conversation piece. And this lady came out of nowhere. Like this Marjorie Taylor Greene. I was listening to the name over the last few weeks, and then all of a sudden she became like front page news, headline news. What's this lady all about?
Well, she's
folks, when Aisha uses a tonal inflection like that, get ready to duck. Go on, Aisha.
She's like Trump 2.0 because like things wouldn't be okay if there wasn't some kind of messiness going on in our government, right? It's like we can sleep because we got a president that's not a child at the helm. But of course, there has to be some kind of sloppiness going on in Congress. So she's a representative from Georgia, North Georgia, very conservative Georgia. And she is a QAnon darling. So
okay,
she's not conservative in terms of your regular conservatives that you're thinking of, like the Mitt Romney, Susan Collins, Ben Sass types. She's kind of crazy. That's the best way to put it. She believes in, she's of the Tea Party 2.0 kind of crazy. And so she believes in, her guns and the conspiracy theories about the 911 hijackings being, staged, and all the school shootings being staged, and just a whole about people in the media, people in politics at higher levels, particularly Democrats, drinking children's blood, and every crazy thing that you can possibly think that all those QAnon people that were the insurrectionists believed in.
Jill, what do you think about Mark?
That definitely everything Aisha said, but I feel that she ran a construction company with her husband. So I think she's not very different than Donald Trump. I mean, she's kind of an opportunist and sort of seizes her moments. I don't know if I know that there's a lot of footage of her talking about, drinking, the lasers that were coming down from space. They were Jewish lasers burning up from the Rothschilds, burning up California. So she kind of played her hand in pretty much everything, anti-Semitic, anti-Black. I mean, about Black Lives Matter. There were things about the, protests. She has, for her entourage or her basic security team, happened to be the Proud Boys. So she's very well aware.
Hold on a second. She has the Proud Boys as her security team?
A militia. Yes, and they defended her during her campaign. She was also known for, during her campaign, having a poster of herself with an AR-15, and the squad, the girls, Rashida, Tlaib, Ilhan, and AOC featured, and basically saying that they had better watch out. She had an AR-15 and that would just shut them down. So she's always been very insidious and kind of hitting low with these moves from very early on. I think the Republicans were very well aware of her because her campaign was quite provocative, and people knew as soon as she was elected that, oh my God, there's a QAnon who got voted. I think she just knew how to get that base. And she did it. And now come find out she's got some interesting connections for somebody who just, as you say, sprung up. I don't really believe in overnight successes because we can kind of see that if we probably dig into her, I mean, why would Katie Hopkins, the notorious racist from London, come here, know who she is, and start, there's video of the two of them talking on January 7th about what happened on January 6th at the Capitol, and this lovey-dovey affair about patriotism, and Katie saying, oh, I'm so proud of you. I wish I could live here. It was really pathetic. And anybody who knows Katie knows that she's got deep tentacles in Russia. So it's not surprising. I actually think that a lot of these Republican candidates are seeking out Vladimir Putin. I don't even know if it's anything at this point, after everything we've seen, that they are being sought, and if you want to really know who her connections are, look at whoever the clients are that her construction company's been working with. Yeah. You'll probably start to see who her donors are. So they basically, the House suspended her. I mean, she can't be on the committee because the Kevin McCarthy didn't have any balls to take her off. I mean, you can explain that whole Liz Cheney thing and how that went down.
But the thing is that she's one of two QAnon women that are in the House, and she's the more popular one. And it makes you wonder why her. And I think it's because she is the more radical of the two. And you kind of hate to say that with QAnon people because they're radicalized people. But she's the more radicalized of the two because she puts herself out there on purpose. And she's done all of these videos and podcasts.
About Pelosi, too. Remember, she liked those comments. So she's very...
About wanting to kill Pelosi and things like that. And she's very reckless, like I said today on Twitter. She's very reckless in her speech.
So, because I'm looking at this lady, and all of a sudden I'm going, how, what, where? But obviously, she's getting her good 15 or 30 minutes of fame. Do you think that she has legs? Because I watched a clip of her yesterday saying after she got kicked off the committee, she said, well, I'm very happy now because I have more time. I got time. And, basically saying that these guys in the committees don't do anything anyways. Like there's this shrapnel effect because this has caused a little bit of, has this caused any division in the GOP? Because I don't hear Mr. McConnell saying a thing on this.
Because I think that one thing I do think is that There are two things happening in the Republican Party at the moment. Based upon how everybody turned against Liz Cheney, that was kind of really clear cut
Yeah, that's another thing we got to
when
talk
she
about.
voted against the impeachment for Donald Trump. I think the message that's being sent to McConnell and McCarthy and all of them is that your mama's Republican ain't this Republican.
Yeah.
Your daddy's brand of Republican is not this one. It's changed. The party has a different tone, and the younger people that are coming in, either it's the voters are demanding something more extreme from that party who they're attracting. And now you see these old geezers like running around, Lindsey Graham and all of them, trying to cater to this milieu, which is really subclass and subpar individuals. But somewhere they've been made aware that this is something that you need to do a deep dive in, because in these rural areas, it's become more populist. Like, people want more authoritarian leadership. And that's what even Democrats have to take note of.
Okay, so Jill, let me ask you, when you say, sorry to interrupt, but Jill, when you say authoritarian leadership, are we saying white male leadership?
Absolutely, because today, if you notice in Marjorie's press conference, she made a comment about, why are we white people being made to feel that we can't be white? I mean, those for me were the comments that stood out about white people being kind of put in a place. It was very Patrick Swayze, don't put baby in a corner type of vibe. But what I'm saying is that she pulled the white card. Like, why are we white people having to cater to all this other stuff, is basically what she's saying. And that was the dog whistle. She is just like Trump, only a female version. She is just like Donald Trump. And she's not going to, she may not be busy, but she's going to be making some probably dangerous moves. And she will uproot that party if they don't squash her.
Well, here's the other thing, too, is that the party is so tethered to Donald Trump right now. You've got people like Matt Gaetz saying, I have one life to give and I give it to Trump. You've got Jim Jordan over here saying that anyone who doesn't, support Donald Trump or see themselves as a Republican who doesn't honor Donald Trump, well, we're going to fight you and primary you. She's got nothing to do. She's going to spend all her time going around the country trying to rally up support and stirring up the pot and really getting that base riled up. Well, here's the problem. She's got to go against an administration that's going to be helping people. And you can't argue with results. That's going to be, you can deal with hate. You can focus with hate, but you can't deal with results. You can't argue with results. Remember, a good number of those people who did the insurrection did not vote.
Which is an interesting comment in itself.
That's very true. What did they say? 60%?
Yeah, did not vote. So one thing that someone said tonight on MSNBC is that poor white people don't vote. It's the middle class ones that vote, that can afford to not have their needs taken care of. It's the ones who do the dirty work, that need things, that will do the dirty work, like the insurrection and things like that. So the people that she's going to target are those people who are going to do the dirty work kind of things, but don't vote. So keep doing that, and Georgia's going to stay blue.
Yeah, I mean, because of more people moving there as well, it's gonna change.
So you foresight saying she forgot the golden rule that everything you put on the internet stays on the internet and lives there. And then Black Beauty is saying, and she actually has children that she's raising.
Yeah.
Oh, well, her children are done for the moment that she started talking about miscegenation and race mixing and how and all that. She's a big old bigot. We know that. I mean, that there's no arguing that. But here's the thing about stripping her from her committee assignments, and that Republicans were warning Democrats about this. It's like, well, guess what? when our time comes and we're in leadership again, we're gonna get you back. But
Right.
Democrats don't have anyone who talks reckless like this. They're gonna go after Elon Omar. That is the message that they were coded sending.
Right. And
We're
I
gonna
really
get her
feel
back for past things that they felt were anti-Semitic.
I feel incredibly sad about that because we know that that's what they're going to do and waste everybody's time. But I really do feel that, for a woman who claimed that 9/11 didn't happen,
Yeah.
then what is her resentment towards the Arab people then? What's her deal with Islam?
Well,
It's
here,
like you're just a hateful. I mean, the reality is that we we really need to lift up the Islamic communities because they need to be more visible. I know we have people who are on television, and but we really need to push forth that too, because it's a big boogeyman, and I do think we need to see more Asian Americans and more Islamic Americans from the Asian regions. They are a part of America. And I think it's really, really critically important that this happen, because it's the only way. You know how many there are of them? We just got the Asians to come out and start really participating in the votes. I mean, as it is, the Asian Republican Congresswoman voted her out in the House, Young Kim. So as much as there's this faction of white supremacists making moves, their peers who are their same age group, these are who are more multicultural and different, are not having it. But they are definitely taking some steps, and it's really, really important. And it's important for us to deal with the regional restructuring that's going to start going on. I'm getting ready to do some stuff with People's Action again. And these are the things we have to watch before the next elections, because they are coming. There was a woman who was just signed in today in New York, a Republican for the House who won, that they just agreed, oh, she won, whatever. So we really have to be strong. It's like, we have to keep persevering and pushing.
Yeah. And remember the committees that she was on, her committee assignments, education, yet she didn't believe that the school shootings happened. Okay?
And labor. And she and was criticizing the Parkland shooting as a false flag. And all of the senators who were down, the Congress people who were from Florida particularly, all voted against her because they would have been fools not to, because those are their constituents, that Parkland area and Pulse nightclub and all of that stuff. And then here's the kicker. She was apparently held hostage in her high school in 1990.
What?
Her high school. Yeah. She had a shooter in her school. And all it did is make her more
gun crazy.
Gun crazy.
So two questions I have, at least two more conversation points on this lady. What involvement does 45 have in this, if any, in your opinion?
He's sitting back and he's watching. It's like he's playing with his little chess pieces. This is all about his revenge on America for not reelecting him. Okay? And he's meddling in this administration as much as he can through the Congress. That's why he's keeping in touch with Jim Jordan and Matt Gaetz.
Who's retiring, by the way?
Matt Gaetz?
Jim Jordan.
Jim Jordan,
yes.
But yes. Is he retiring, or is he doing it to go run for Senate?
I think it's sort of
there's a Senate there's a Senate seat that's going to be up.
I think they said he was going to be out, but I don't know.
And the governor's seat's going to be up too.
I don't think he'll win the Senate though in Ohio. I don't know. I don't know, and I hope not. But maybe it's like everybody wants to shake loose Trump because he does get his tentacles in. Or maybe he's going to go work with Trump. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see Jim Jordan being one of those who's going to try to shake Trump loose, because he's been like this with Trump since day one. But you have all of Trump's people in the Senate that are like that way with him to the point that they want to be so tight and so close and working with him that Trump can basically maneuver them any way he wants to
Absolutely.
and tell them
It's really
exactly what
true.
he wants to do, what he wants them to do. Vote on this way, vote on this way.
I think
And
they're
they
going to
will
just
do
send
it.
her on. Don't you think she'll just be doing, like, she has the capacity the ability to raise money in hours. Like,
Oh
she's
yeah.
already up to 2 million. And what's really interesting is I think that she will be like the mule for the Republicans for a minute. They're going to try to play her that way with getting them money. But this one, she's a little different, and she's going to turn on them because Kevin McCarthy basically threw her under the bus, in my opinion.
Why his name's coming up a lot already. I think we're going to hear it later. Not saying, I'm just saying that name McCarthy keeps on coming up.
He did. He should have dealt with this in his, in his capacity, and he just threw it back to the House so that they would do and make these moves. I mean, these guys aren't stupid. They knew, probably were surprised that 11 Congress people voted her out too.
Well,
but
this is another point, and I just, if I can interrupt, Jill, what is going to happen to those 11 that voted her out? What is their future going to be?
She's going after them first.
Well, it'll be interesting with the California, as I mentioned, young Kim. It will be interesting in her area, which is Orange County. It's a very strong Asian population. And Kevin his area is like Lancaster. It's a lot further away. Bakersfield, that whole area. But they're going to try to go after him, but I'm not so convinced. I mean, here's the thing. I don't even know. I'd be so curious from people, like, is it even a job they want to do after a couple of these terms? Because it just seems like what it's bringing into their lives. You have to either be really have a love for your country, or you are in there to try to get something for yourself. I don't even know if there's any in between, because it's really like a thankless job to be doing it. I don't see the point anymore.
Kevin McCarthy wants to hold that power that John Boehner and that Paul Ryan had when they were speakers. And he's not going to get it because he shows himself as a weak minority leader.
He's very weak.
He is, I mean, he has such piss poor leadership skills. It's amazing. It really is.
Wait, the funny part was when he was trying to say in the cabinet, when they were all talking, like, I don't even know what QAnon is. He tried to mispronounce it a million times. And then there's actually, are these people stupid, or do they think we're stupid? Where he's on like Fox in like the summertime, talking about QAnon, and it's outrageous. And QAnon, he had no problem pronouncing it then. But all of a sudden, he turned into the QAnon. I don't know. Oh, shucks. Damn it. He's too long in the tooth to be pulling that. And he's not that charming. So
yeah, he's not. And he's like,
he looked like a big old goof trying to play that game.
I'm trying to figure out how come he got elected as minority leader to begin with.
Well,
That's a good question.
This is what I'm saying, because could he have avoided all of this?
Yes, just not be minority leader. Take his name out the hat.
He doesn't know how to handle problems very well. And, he's used to distractions that happen. When he was with Trump, no one could really shine a light on just how weak Kevin McCarthy really is.
Yeah.
But right now, they tried to do something where they were going after AOC and questioning her her validity about the action that happened on January 6th and all this. They tried it, but we've all learned how to multitask all of these things now, so it didn't work. And there was no Trump to come in and maybe the letter, but we didn't go off, we didn't veer off. We were like, okay, Kevin, chop chop, what are you going to do about Marjorie Taylor Greene? And Marjorie Taylor Greene at one point had him by the balls. And she still does ultimately, because she saw what he did.
Nancy knows how to get her party in line.
Mm-hmm.
remember that time during the impeachment vote, the first impeachment vote.
I
Not
did.
Yes, we're coming to that again in a few moments. Go on.
the first one.
The first one.
When they started to clap, she was like, mm-mm, mm-mm.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yes.
She cut it off, okay?
Yeah.
Right. She did.
Or when the stuff with Katie Hill came up, Nancy went to Katie Hill's office. I suggest you resign. And Katie Hill did, okay?
Yep.
Now, Kevin McCarthy should take a lesson in how to whip your caucus into in line from Nancy.
Isn't it interesting? Time is such a funny thing. Who would have thought a year ago you would see the Republican Party basically on its feet, on its back feet? So they're
Imploding.
But that's the whole thing. They're not really imploding because everybody's going along with the program. That's the bad part, is that you would think it'd be different if they were like all spread out going different ways. For the most part, they've all agreed to go along with this first.
I think it's imploding for the older ones who know that their days are numbered.
But and they still
it's true, but you've got Mitt Romney, whose brightest idea today was to say that Confucianism shouldn't be taught in schools, and then he thought that parents that it was communist, and that parents with children should get $2,000 regularly with children. It's like Looney Tunes. It's like, where are you and what are you doing? It's like, why are these people? Some of them are not much help. They're not much help at all. And you're absolutely right. I mean, Susan Collins, as I tweeted the other day, is like, I could time travel back to like Leave It to Beaver in 1957. And, and she's like, hey, the beeve,
You know what they're all doing during Black History Month? They're trying to make sure that the 1619 Project doesn't get taught in schools. That's what they're doing.
It's true. They are.
Wow.
But you see, here's the crazy thing. We go on about what's being taught in school, and we should it's very important what gets taught in school. We know that with the Nazis, after that happened, here's my firm belief on the impeachment. They tried all of those people afterwards in trial, all of the Nazis. They were not in power anymore. They were tried and they were charged, and many fled, many went to jail and paid their whatever they had to do. They're also created education programs. Somebody made a joke today, which was, Germany must look at America and go, I can't believe they ever beat us, because they are like really ridiculously dumb. The thing is that we're not doing, we haven't been teaching white supremacy other than in schools. We only taught mainly about white history and the entitlement that came with that created. But what were they teaching their kids at home is astounding to know. So we do need something in school, but I'm telling you, you're going to get a lot of pushback because there's that many people who they're mad because we have a Black History Month. Can you believe that? They don't get it. Why can't we have a White History Month? I've actually heard many people say, why can't we have a White History Month? And it's like, you guys, it's every month for you.
You guys have 365.
We'll give you a White History Month if we can have Black History all
year round.
And let's see how you feel afterwards, because you would think they are, embattled, beat down, oppressed. But when Marjorie Taylor, what's her face, said, basically, that victimizing white people in this country, how long do we white people have to take, this, and it was
what she's really saying is, how long do we white people have to take diversity?
I know.
How long do we have to take all these people coming in and us adjusting to different things that we're not comfortable with?
I'm shocked the media didn't pick
because
up on that because I found it
you have to
really
take it.
offensive.
Right? Yeah.
If she
It's like you
obviously
have to
doesn't
take it
have
for the
any
rest of your life because
Yeah.
this country is changing. Period.
Yeah.
Adjust.
Well, let's move on to our next conversation piece. Something that hasn't changed is coming as there's an old song called Second Time Around. And
Wait, who sang that?
I can't remember.
Shalimar.
Shalimar, there you go.
Okay, I got in trouble online for saying that what's his face looked like Candace Owens.
Oh no.
No, but you were talking about Jermaine Stewart.
Oh, Jermaine Stewart. Oh, we
Yeah.
don't have to take our
I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that. The guy got really upset.
So that was a friend of mine. I was like, I knew Jermaine Stewart too. I didn't mean it in a bad way, but she does. She has the same haircut as Jermaine. He looked better than her for sure. But
okay. So I believe starting this upcoming Tuesday.
He was adorable. I love Jermaine. But anyway,
yes, there
he
we go.
would have found it funny.
Yeah.
45's allies fear
It
the
starts Monday, the 8th.
That's Monday. Monday could be a PR nightmare. Well, look, it's been a minute since you ladies been on. It's been a nightmare because all these lawyers that
keep dropping out.
Either dropping out. Yeah. Like that's not a good sign.
Even Lindsay got him a lawyer. That lawyer dropped out. And now one of the lawyers that he has is being investigated for having voted twice or illegally in Georgia.
Yes,
yeah.
I saw that. I saw that. Nothing like good vetting.
Look. The only voter fraud in Georgia happened to be
Oh, shame.
I know.
his attorney.
Yes, it's true. Lynn Wood.
Yeah.
Lynn Wood.
Look, Trump said there was voter fraud. Well,
It was.
Yeah. And it was your attorney. I mean, it makes you wonder why these people would give their lives. You've got, like you mentioned, Matt Butthead Gates. He looks like Beavis and Butthead. Everybody's done his hairstyle is even like that.
His hairstyle reminds me of like the Mr. Softy, the ice cream thief from the ice cream shop.
Totally.
Back in the day.
Yep. I think he's still using Dippity Doo.
Oh, shame. Oh, stop. Let's talk about the impeachment. Stop your noise.
Okay.
Dippity Doo and Aquanet.
Yes.
So, what are we going to expect this time? Is it going to be anything different?
Well, you know for sure that when he got that invite, he went through it with his attorneys. He wanted to go. He did. Because he always wants to tell his side of the story.
As Rachel Maddow pointed out, if you look at everything and even listen to the way his attorneys are being interviewed on Fox or whatever, or Newsmax, they all refer to him as the 45th president of the United States is going to be in New York next week. The 45th president, they don't say the former. And they're not. It's just very bizarre. He's in his own world. Here, everybody is trying to bring the world, we're going to have impeachment, and he's writing letters to SAG, which we know was ridiculous.
Okay, hold on. Okay, so drop that one, Jill.
Yes.
You need, because I tweeted something out to the wonderful ladies this week, and I said, "What next?" So tell the story, because I can't tell with a straight face.
Well,
Aisha sigh again.
So the Screen Actors Guild was going to expel him because he incited, domestic terrorism.
Yeah.
And before they could get together, or they were meeting, and he was, I guess, notified of this, he decides to write a letter to them, telling them, he
doesn't care.
Who cares? Who cares? Like, I'm proud of everything I've done, from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to my performance in Home Alone 2. I mean, he went through this whole thing. I mean,
I was president.
My daughter actually said, "Wow, I wish I could be as good a promoter of myself as he is." Like, he is that guy. And then I was in Home Alone 2. You think he carried that movie?
But he forgot the Apprentice, which
he mentioned he was in the Apprentice, the number 7 show, the number 1 show, everything's number 1, and then somebody had to be like, it's number 7, and then he finally gets down to the bottom. And what have you all done for me? What have you done for me? Nothing. So I quit. He basically said, I quit.
But that's
And
not a
then,
letter from somebody who doesn't care.
no. And then it's signed Donald Trump, the 45th president of the United States. It's like,
And he
it's
uses
and,
the presidential,
and he,
the seal of the
seal.
U.S. Right?
Yeah. And so finally, the
Isn't
Screen
that
Actors
against the
Guild,
law?
he tweaked
Can
it
he
a
still
little
use it?
bit.
Oh,
He
okay.
just tweaked it. See, he's such a grifter. Tweaked it enough to be outside the framework of the law, right? And so then the Screen Actors Guild tweeted back to him in reply to Donald Trump's, letter or the president, thank you. Like, he's done. But because I don't see any movies coming for him, and he's going to have to deal with them again if he wants to do any television. That's for damn sure. He likes to make a big show out of stuff that, I mean, he could never have a union show if that's the way he wants to do it. They basically have put him where he can't do union things. Who's going to take that risk?
Right.
So, yeah. So with the impeachment, I do feel that we're in for a show, because when I think Congressman Jamie Raskin, they wanted Trump to, testify, and he declined through his attorney. So obviously the Republicans don't want him to testify. I mean, would you? But I'm sure he wants to, because I'm sure he misses the limelight, because he's writing letters to SAG. That's a real boost for him.
And he has no social media.
No, he's probably going ape. So it's like, it's going to be interesting to see, because what I really like is that the Dems haven't really been playing their hand, like having people on TV, having all these interviews. It's been tight, like a vest.
Yes,
it's just been like, boom, we're going to come out 1-2 one night in Miami, boom, boom.
Yeah.
It's like, we're going to do that.
By the way.
You cannot be sitting up there having like, snacky snacks talking on TV. Well, I know we're going to, like they did the last time. That's over. They can't do that.
One of the things I'm concerned about, though, if I was around Washington, I'd have the National Guard on high alert, because something tells me there could be some funny things protesting going on during that trial.
And they will.
Yes.
And they will. They learn their lesson from the 6th. So they will. They haven't sent them home. They still have like something like 15,000 around, in and around the area.
But will that affect when our new Secretary of Defense asked our whole army to stand down?
Yeah.
Just recently. I mean, I'm sure.
But it doesn't affect the National Guard.
Right. So that was deep too. He came in and just went, stand down. I'm going to take a minute to brief you all and vet you, because there's some deep, serious. This is like house cleaning. They are like COVID cleaning on a white supremacist. They're like, let's clean out. Let's find people. There will be background checks. There will be searches, social media checks. I think a lot of jobs are going to open up in that sector.
Yes, but is it going to have any real results? Because the Republicans are going to stick. No one's going to jump.
Well, they're probably not going to, but I do think there will be a show. I think that the Jamie Raskin and the prosecutors and everything, this is the opportunity to lay it out and to at least get it out there, because it's better that we put it out before they can get a chance to worm it around. His people, we know, are going to think what they want. They're going to be his supporters, but there are people that we can keep carving away, just because I do believe that it's going to get dark, really dark about him.
I
think this time what's very different is that they're like calling, like, his side wants to call the FBI. Let them call the FBI, because nothing good can come from them calling the FBI.
Well, the one people who did release some information, the FBI released the information about Steve Bannon on his podcast on January 5th
Yep.
talking smack about we're going to take over the government tomorrow.
Yep.
So it's there. The FBI kind of sent a real kind of low key, like, okay, Lindsay, you want to open Pandora's box? Come on, let's do it. Because I think that there are a lot of people, when you make other people dirty, it's like when you've abused somebody or taken them hostage, like Stockholm syndrome or whatever, or you get people to get dirty with you.
Right.
And if some can live with it, some can't. There are people who will flip out just based upon how they're built, the constitution of what they're made of. It's about time somebody just spin the hell out and go, no, this is what really happened. Because when we're talking about, do you want to be skinned alive for this man? Because you're going to be called as a witness, and you will be skinned alive on national TV. Donald Trump always gets to go home. He gets to live in a house that people don't want him in his neighborhood or whatever it's about. And these other people, they're ruined, or they have to go and be in bed with more dirty folks. It's just to think that you could wake up and go, how you started your life and this is where you are with hanging out with Roger Stone. I mean, who looks like somebody who scribbled 2 round circles for eyeballs. It's like, no, you would have to not be able to look in the mirror at yourself when you're that infested with the muck and the mire. It's horrible. There will be some stuff coming out about him because we're extremely quiet about these witnesses. And there are the QAnons who want to flip, and the Republicans are going to go after them and tear them apart. And that may not bode too well.
Yeah. And the other thing too is that you're going to have they're going to bring up Ted Cruz's speech. So you're going to have members of Congress who are going to have to pay for this. Members of the Senate who are going to have to pay for this. Marjorie Taylor Greene, all her stuff's going to come back to haunt her. That other one, Boebert, who was screened in 1776, that's going to come back. So a lot of people are going to have their dirt thrown back at them.
And
so
also,
see if they want to stick with Trump then.
It's really true, because we're also dealing with certain things like just the minutia, just other stuff that the Biden administration is going to be researching, the Khashoggi murder. I mean, these people have so much putting out fires. They may survive. Some of them may survive the impeachment, but by the time the 4 years is over, some of them, it's going to just come out like, yo, what the hell? They were having a field day. These people, it's not just one kettle. They get by day to day, like certain insects that just like, I made it through. Yeah. And they do that. And we're really, and with Biden being able to go back 60 days to the actions of Trump with the congressional aid, what is it called? The Congressional Review Act, which allows him to wipe stuff away. I mean, it's kind of interesting. It's almost like they kind of know. Everybody's kind of working in tandem, because Lindsey Graham is suspiciously quiet right now.
Right.
That
makes you wonder why Jim Jordan is going to retire.
True.
I mean, there's stuff that might come up in this trial that he knows he's done.
Well, one of the things I'm very interested to see, will there be anything revealed about a conspiracy and some senators some people in the House knowing ahead of time? Because there's been things put out there by some of the people involved in the protest saying, oh, well, like allegedly there was a meeting the night before that one of 45's sons attended. Like if any of that stuff is proven, that's out of control.
It's so true. And it's really strange that, they still haven't located the bomber. They did find the bullhorn woman. They are having judges and magistrates cutting favor to some of these people that they've arrested. Prosecutors want them.
There was a
woman that was going to Mexico.
Yes, I saw that. I went, really?
Yeah.
Really?
So that's Trump still playing these games.
Well, this is the thing, right? Remember, he put in all his judges.
Yeah.
He did.
But a lot of
But
them
a
have
lot of them are
retired.
retiring. They want to retire.
Yeah.
There were other ones who were like going, "Oh, I'm glad you won, Joe, because now I can finally hang it up." Because so there's going to be a whole bunch of interesting changes happening because a lot of people are like going, "I'm going to retire." And I think that I still believe that Ginny Thomas and what's her husband, Harold, or what's his name again, Supreme Court Justice Clarence.
Clarence, yeah.
Thomas.
That it's going to take time. Right now they're just trying to collect their paychecks and figure out what they're doing, I'm sure, but he's going to need to retire too, because he needs to. His wife helped to finance and fund an insurrection.
Yeah.
There is no excuse. My biggest problem right now is, do we have any laws or punishment in America anymore? Because I don't know. Nobody's been picked up, carted off. Is this whole process? Some of it just needs to stop. It's like, stop the chatter, put a few of them in jail, and just stop it. No communication. It for me, it's just kind of strange that our laws are not being enforced. That is my biggest issue.
Well, our laws aren't being enforced on white people. That's what you say. Because
exactly,
it's like, you hate to say it, but it's like, treat them like they're black. Just, and they're not acting fast enough. It's like there are thousands of people there, and so many people are going to get away with this.
Well, we also have General Honore, still doing
his investigation.
He's on it. So
I love him.
Whenever all of that comes through, and I'm sure whatever information he is finding is going to be revealed a little bit in the impeachment hearings.
Mm-hmm.
And don't forget Letitia James.
Let me tell you something. There's nothing like a really, really pale black man like General Honore. Because he's going to do the damn thing.
Yeah.
Oh my.
God.
So what's going to be the end result of this trial? Anything?
No, I don't think Trump's going to get convicted by his Senate, unless he keels over in the middle of it. I don't know. I do have a feeling something really crazy is going to go down. Yeah. But just because I think that having your attorney represent all of this and you and everything, I just don't know how is Trump with that? Even if he went and pled the fifth, it would be better than not going at all, because, there's something, we'll see, because subpoenas should probably start going out to people if it's next week, right? Or maybe they have. Yeah. But
we're going to find something out, because there's a reason his attorneys keep dropping like flies.
Yeah, there's something up with that. There's something.
Yeah, because he wanted to only talk about the election and this is what happened to me. But then today they were trending also with Roger Stone, what his activities were before walking in with the Oath Keepers and the Proud Boys, which you guys actually in Canada had the guts to turn into a domestic terror group. Thank you.
Oh, that was now I can give an Aisha K. Staggers sigh.
I mean, it's crazy, because we had a situation with our press secretary, Psaki, was giving her stuff. And then there's one stupid media girl who's like, what's the difference? What's a domestic terror? Are you going to deal with Antifa too? And it's like that kind of stuff. I wanted her to jump over the podium and smack that little blonde girl across.
Antifa's not a group.
It's not a group. It's just a bunch of angry people who have an ideology.
They don't have a leadership. They're like not
So Aisha,
but you guys know the difference. Can you explain it to American
Aisha,
bimbo journalists?
Could you imagine if Jill was press secretary? Lord of mercy!
I'd be like, "What did you just say?"
You go into the.
I'd be like, "What? Get out of here!" Oh my God, you guys! You don't think I could be professional? They'd be like, why is Joe Biden taking a plane home? Cause two. Like, what is wrong with that? Well,
Did you
want him
read
to take
that
a bus
headline?
Yeah. You want him to take a bus back to Delaware?
Look, Joe Biden is traveling. He says not to. He's going on Air Force One, not a regular passenger flight. He's been vaccinated.
No, he didn't turn Air Force One into a hangar for a bunch of Russian hookers, and fly around in a spread fest or whatever the hell he had going on.
If there's some way, we got to do this, Joe. We got to simulate. Look at someone's going. Yes, Jill is press secretary.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for the faith.
But you know what? It would be so good. I got to see if we can do it. Have Jill act like a press secretary during one of the, and have her. That's Saturday Night Live material. That's Saturday Night Live material. That would be so hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't believe it. Like, is he going to take a plane, the Air Force One? I'd be like, what, you want him to take a bus? A golf cart? What? I was like, and I'd just be like, get out of here. What?
Look, on Inauguration Day, did you not see how thick the doors are of the beast?
Girl, I would have a gong, like in the Gong Show, and be like, and then I would have someone like Sandman from the Apollo come out and take them off.
No, Willy Wonka. Remember when she stands on the thing and drops? So the people that you didn't want, you hit the gong and they just drop.
Yeah, that's a really bad question. It's like, boom, bye. Okay.
Oh my gosh, this is the second episode where I gotta wipe the tears. Oh my gosh. All right, let's get back to, I guess, some sort of reality. I think our second last conversation piece. It is a serious thing. American COVID relief proposal. So it looks like finally Mr. Biden's going to get something put through, but it's not going to be the grandiose thing that they were looking for. And I remember, I think I said this a few episodes ago, who is one of the most powerful people in America? Ms. Harris. Because why? Who got that bill to go through in the House? Ms. Harris.
Yeah, she broke those three ties on those amendments.
She broke it. So what did you think of the proposal? What do you think of the proposal? I know one of the key parts, it doesn't look like it's going to go through the $15 an hour minimum wage, but what do you think about the proposal and as it stands right now?
I think as it stands right now, it's fine. If the $15 doesn't go through with this, like Joe Biden said, it's okay. If it doesn't go through with this, he could always put it through as a separate bill and still get the buy-in from Congress and the Senate. And that's one of those things where where Kamala would actually be that deciding vote. What the concern was with that $15
minimum wage.
Federal, and remind you, it's federal minimum wage. So that's just for federal jobs. It's not state minimum wage. But a lot of states do try to keep up with the federal minimum wage. Was Joe Manchin. Joe Manchin was the one who couldn't bring himself to do it. And mind you, this is minimum wage $15 that they were trying to do over the course of like 3 years, which is beyond ridiculous because people need $15 now. In 3 years, they're going to need 20 to 25 to be a living minimum wage. But Joe Manchin isn't going to be a hard nut to crack now because he's got his governor saying, no, we need this.
I mean, it wouldn't have, for me, what hurt the most about the announcement about the $15 minimum wage. I mean, California has a $15 minimum wage. We've slowly been going up. A lot of states have been doing that.
Same here.
But it just felt so bad to see Joni Ernst and her 1932 wig wearing, Woolworth's wig wearing, telling us about, I blocked the $15 minimum wage. I was like,
It's
girl,
too much.
she's still living when
It's
her
too
wig
much.
only cost 35 cents at Woolworth.
Right. And Bernie Sanders shut her down.
Yes, he did. And I think that
No,
that's
he's not. No, it's not. It's not Bern. It's not. It's Bernie, the fashion icon.
I know. He did really well. But I also think that Bernie is the perfect person for this budget thing. He actually, I'm actually maybe more happy that he's in on the budget than being president, because if anybody can knock them around, it's going to be him, because I think he handed over his balls and gave them to Schumer for a little bit, because Schumer doesn't really have any. They're like little, he's like, here, take mine for a bit. Just take them.
Yeah.
Take them.
But Joni,
they had to show him how to use them.
I can't tell you
Chuck
how
was trying to juggle them. And
I mean, I can't tell you how proud she was of herself. It was like,
oh,
if she could have, she would have lowered the minimum wage to like $3.75.
She was wearing a NASCAR wig too, and that's what really got me. It was that NASCAR look,
like 1982 wages.
What is it? I know.
She was like, "Let's go back in time."
I mean, the whole point.
If that's the case, then please lower the cost of bread and milk.
And thank you. It's so true, because talk about a dime store Betty.
Lower rent to like $300 a month, and people will be happy. And then send over those $1,400 checks.
You've got the white people in the Republican Party who go back to Leave It to Beaver days, Hazel, all those kind of dumb shows. They were cute shows then, I guess. But, then you have the newer Republicans who are white supremacists, who are trying to act out some the gamers kind of weirdness on there. So they don't get along very well. So with this reconciliation, this is the budget reconciliation rules, is how we were able to push this through. And at the end of the day, I personally don't know why we're even negotiating and allowing them to make amendments, but it's because of Joe Manchin and Sisney or Sism, or what's her name? The Arizona chick.
Oh,
because you need, in order to get these things passed through, there has to be solidarity, unity in the whole,
or something like that.
Stems. But old, cornbread husky, West Virginia dude decided that it's a real stickler for him, $15, and I actually hope that he gets his ass voted out.
But he really had to go along with it, though. If his mayor, if his governor didn't come out crying, and his governor was a Trumper, if his governor didn't say, "We need this,
because
please,
there were
please show help us."
There were people online talking about what they were eating like flour soup, literally. And if you've been to West Virginia and the Appalachians, I mean, come on. I mean, Manchin, because I was like, I tweeted him and said, well, then how much do you make? Because they need to all show up at your house and ask you for food, because I really would do that. I would just freaking do it. If Gavin Newsom couldn't do, I'd be like,
these are people, these are people that
it's like you have to do that. But West Virginia is poor.
Yes, they're people that at one point the government was experimenting on their dental care by giving mothers Mountain Dew.
Mm-hmm.
To give to their children.
I mean, this is a state that was Joe Manchin's state, where they were going into graveyards and taking the teeth out and giving them to people.
Oh my God!
No, I'm joking.
I know, but they do things like that.
It wouldn't surprise me.
No, but seriously, no, the dental care in West Virginia is a serious issue for children and babies. It is.
It worked for George Washington. He used to take slaves' teeth and put them in.
You're cut off, Jill Jones. You're cut off.
It's the teeth.
Oh my gosh. Well, so when is this going to get passed?
They're saying the deadline is March 14th because they've got to
Oh
go
my
back and forth
God,
and debate these
forever.
bills.
I don't
March,
know, dude. He said he didn't want to get bogged down. I don't know, Joe. Joe might spring it because I felt like he played old Mr. Scorpion Sting the other day when he sort of backed them into a corner. And I have a funny feeling that he's just going to go the hell with it and
yeah,
just start pushing his senators. He can't wait. People can't wait until March. What
yeah,
happened to freaking Warnock and Ossoff and by that time the EDD stuff, that 11 weeks is going to be over.
nonsense.
So we can't
Yeah,
go through that again.
I don't know. I don't know if it's the amendment process that's what's going to take, what's going to take the
Prolong.
is going to prolong it. They have to vote on all those amendments.
But
Well,
see, every time the Republicans get involved, they put 200 amendments in the ACA, the Affordable Care Act. Democrats had zero. And that is why we have such crap in health insurance. Because like my husband who's from Germany, he doesn't, every time you say, oh, the government's about, he's like, it's not that, it's not because people think it's socialism. Germany is a democratic socialist country, meaning they give about their people and they set up provisions so people don't fall through the cracks. When people are getting $7,000 basically a month to live on during the vaccine or during the virus, there's something, amazing when it isn't just ratioed out like, oh, gee, in America, let's just max it. They have a max at our unemployment divisions, and it's not even anywhere near what you earned. It's ridiculous. It's not like anybody. You think people want to sit at home all day? I think it's been proven that they don't. They're running around. So, it's just the way nothing is ever structured right here. Nothing. And the Republicans always come in and make it worse. They are cheap. They're stingy. They are always behind your back, getting away with something. And they've always been that party.
Yeah.
Always.
But I think that this is what the budget reconciliation is going to do. It's going to be able to shorten that amount of time and that amount of things. And I think that Joe Biden is getting to the point where they're going to kind of streamline this and be like, enough is enough.
I mean, Joe Manchin should be smacked across the freaking country with that attitude, because the reality is his people are begging for food online like dogs. They're like, I can't decide. Should I send money over here to this charity in West Virginia or to the for the dogs, ASPCA? It's really that bad. It's just like, give me a break, Joe. You really have a lot of nerve and you're really feeling yourself awful lot for somebody who's got people groveling online. He must not have, like Mr. Tommy Tuberville, who couldn't couldn't get in touch.
Here's the truth about Joe Manchin is that, yeah, he lives in a conservative district, okay? That doesn't mean he can't be primaried by a conservative Democrat.
Thank you. And he should be.
Who will move to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, come to the end of our epic conversation. But if you caught the last episode, we birthed a new segment. And we are now having a segment called this episode's cockroach. So who, ladies, is our cockroach for this episode?
Kevin McCarthy.
Yes, Kevin McCarthy. Yep.
Why did you nominate him?
Because he is so weak, and mostly because Kevin McCarthy went to Mar-a-Lago for no reason, okay? To pal around with Donald Trump. Why would you do that? Mm-hmm. What minority leader goes to the former president to just kick it?
Yeah.
For what? Why would you bring him into the process? That was like really unprofessional and below his level of leadership, and then not really dealing with Marjorie Taylor Greene the way he should have as a leader. He needed to snatch her up and deal with her. Snatch her up and get her out of there.
Jill?
He's so milquetoast. He is like the guy who couldn't get any lower to the ground. If you look at how he's been through COVID, through don't wear a mask, wear a mask. He's played such this fine line. Dude is always running around trying to stay alive. And that's what cockroaches do. How can I, let me get something for me. Let me tiptoe. Let me go visit Trump. So it's like he's that guy. And
he's the white Van Jones.
And that's what makes him so duplicitous.
What did you say, Aisha?
I said he's the white Van Jones.
Well, we won't get into it, but did you hear about what Van Jones went through today on The View?
I sure did. I sure did. Did you see what Van Jones tweeted last week? That he doesn't flip-flop. I tweeted back that, boy, you flip-flop as much as those pancakes that Prince was making you at Paisley Park.
Oh, whoa.
Okay. Something tells me down the road that this segment may be highlighted on Mr. Jones, but that's a whole other conversation. If it wasn't, we won't get into that. But Kevin, so what is Kevin McCarthy's future? You think he's going to survive?
I think he's going to keep singing that song by the Bee Gees, Staying Alive.
I think he is, but Nancy Pelosi's not going to let him forget it because she's already calling Kevin with a Q.
Oh. Yeah, and I think that, the ridicule, he has to really accomplish something. He hasn't accomplished anything. And what's really bad is that these guys in their legacy, all of them, Trump has tainted their careers and their lives so much that they're actually incredibly unremarkable, non-interesting, and pretty forgettable. Like if they left tomorrow, politics, nobody would talk about them anymore. And that's what they cling to with Trump, because whatever your feelings are for him, he definitely shot them up with, some kind of heroin to get them hair on, to get them, addicted. They're all like crackheads. Look at that the poor guy, Mr. Pillow. He was a crackhead. He just changed his whole addiction to Donald Trump, and he's about to lose his damn company. I mean, there's something to be said about people who are besotted with another man like this. These men are besotted with Donald Trump, and there's something, I don't know, there's something really pretty peculiarly weird about it. I don't know what he's got going on down in Mar-a-Lago. I honestly, and I'm not trying to be cheeky, something's not right. These grown-ass men, they act like he's their lover. It's so strange. Yeah, I don't know what it is, and it can only come sued. And they'll take it, and they'll take one for the team. It's like, this is deep. I mean, I don't know what the heck is going on, but something is just not right.
Okay. Yeah. Well, ladies, thank you again for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule.
Positive.
Yeah, that's another. That's a loaded statement right there in itself. But thanks as always for taking the time. It's always a wonderful conversation. I want to say thanks to some people who made it epic: Black Beauty, U4Sight, Claude Diamond, and Cinnamon Canella saying one of the lines of the night. Yes, Jill as press secretary. Got to put that up there. Yes, Jill as press secretary. That you know what? Maybe, would love to get Jen Psaki on. I think Jen Psaki on an off record conversation. I have a feeling she's got some spunk in her.
I love her. I love her. Yes, me too.
I think she's got she'd have some real candid remarks to say, and say, well, Jen, we've got your twin. Jen, meet Jill. We found your twin. Bring her up one day, and you and her handle.
She's holding it in. There are times she's probably like,
Okay, well, as always, ladies are going to give their contact information. First up, Jill Jones.
I'm at Jill D. Jones on Twitter, as you can see, and Jill Jones Music, which is on Instagram and Facebook.
Aisha K. Staggers time.
I am at Aisha Staggers, capital AISHA, capital STAGGERS on Twitter. That's the best place to reach me.
Wonderful. I am Dr. Vibe, host and producer of this fun conversation, Stagger State of Things. Also, host and produce the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, two-time SEMA Canadian Ethnic Media Association Award winner, 2020 Best Podcast News Conversation, 2018 Innovation Award, and once a month I host the only online conversation in the world for dads and fathers, sponsored by Dove Men Care, and also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. As always, I'd like to say thank you to everyone who watched this live or on the replay. And let's see if you want to nominate Jill as assistant press secretary for the Biden administration. Let's see if we can create a goal, some sort of list or something to push it to Jen Psaki. Maybe show her some of these recordings. Say, Jen, if you need an assistant, we got one for you. And Jill is laughing like crazy in the green room. She's just shaking her head. All right. As always, I like to say, live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions, aim bigger, aim better. And remember, aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. And then love, faith, and respect. And remember to give yourself respect. Thank you so much. We love you. Take care. And remember to be and keep yourselves safe. Goodbye, everybody.